Hello and welcome to Floristry Market. My name is Greg and this...
It's Emma.
Hello Emma.
Hello Greg, how are you?
I'm all right, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, we've got a messy table.
I know, very glittery.
It's very glittery, isn't it? You've got a bit on your face as well, I think,
know,
already.
but I think I was saying to the girls in the office earlier, at this time of year, if I go anywhere after work, I just keep my apron on because I feel like it explains the glitter explosion.
Good point, good point. Anyway, what are we going to do today?
So today we're going to create a tied sheaf.
Okay, and I'd never heard of a sheaf. And then I was questioning you, wasn't I?
Sheath.
Do you mean sheath?
Sheaf. With a
It's sheaf with a fur, like wheat sheaf.
So it's so for kind of like Christmassy, you can use it for a few different things. So some people might use it and hang it on the door, so as opposed to a traditional door garland. You can use it if you're decorating your staircase. So say you've come all the way down with the staircase and you want something on the newel post, a bit of like a showstopper thing, you can have it there. Or if you were creating a table arrangement and you wanted to use it multi-purpose, you could have it a couple laid flat on the table with like candles and stuff in between. And you can always lift them up and put them in a vase. So what we've got is we've got a lovely selection of kind of like frosty, Christmassy.
They are lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, so it's quite nice to have like kind of like, I like the all whites Christmas.
I like this one, look at that, it's got the little reindeer in there.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do a mini one, that one's almost... it's almost there. So we're kind of going to make this on a bigger version. So you could just put a little bow on that. If you only had like a little small space to hang them or put two together. Yeah. Kind of like have two together and then you put a little bow on them and then they hang upside down. Okay. So yeah, you've already got these ones all pre-made. But it's actually worth noting actually, while you've got it in your hand, you'll see the differences. I've opened my one out. Yeah. Kind of made it a bit more 3D. That's kind of how they come packaged. And because it always surprises me how many people will get things through the post.
Dear. Okay, we're snowing everybody.
And they don't open them up. So just kind of like bend them, pull the trees forward a bit.
Like this?
Yeah. So they've just got a bit more of a 3D look to them. So it's always worth taking those couple of minutes when you unpack things. So
that's the thing with artificial flowers. Obviously, you can't really do this with real flowers.
No, you have to be a lot more careful. But and also with these, when you're packing them away, I'd like bend them back so they were flat. So you just box them back up again.
Yeah, a bit like us with this Christmas tree.
Yeah. So when you bring it out again, these are little zhuzh. Yeah. And again, with this kind of thing, we haven't got. If you wanted to put lights in it, you could get the battery-operated lights and just like cable tie those in, or tie them in and tie them on and off. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. So we want it to be. We don't want it to look. Anyone can just grab a bunch of flowers, put it together, tie a bow on it, hang it on the door. But it looks very flat and it doesn't have a lot of shape to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow a little method that will give it that nice 3D shape with spiraled stems, and then it will have like a nice shape to it and a nice dome.
Am I doing or am I passing?
You're passing, but you can... Right, okay. So we want to start off with a couple of these. So if you could pass me that one, Greg. They're lovely. They're like nice and like furry. They've got... And even with the artificials come on so far now. There's so many different colours and texture. So when you're choosing... So if you were doing this for yourself, or people are choosing on the website, or wherever they're getting their flowers from, their faux flowers from, you want to look for slightly different textures. And even with the greens, there's so many slightly different shades. So colour and texture make an interesting design.
These that we get, we've obviously got various suppliers that we buy these from, but we always try and buy the good ones, the quality ones.
Yours is really good. It's really realistic.
Are there do you notice differences in the different artificials?
Yeah, these would look, particularly things like the hydrangeas, the foliages, like the spruce, is really realistic. Some of the lesser quality ones look plastic. And I think that puts a lot of people off. I think people are like, they almost want to see them to touch them to see what quality they are, because you can sometimes order things and they don't look as good as they do in the pictures. But I've got to say, the stuff that you guys have got in the website's every bit as good as it is in the picture.
So what would be useful probably for us to have on the website is little close-up pictures and videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so, because I think people, everybody's had a bad experience, when you've ordered something off the internet and it comes and you just think, well, that either looks really poor quality or it doesn't look exactly like the picture. So yeah, some close-ups, and that would be really good. But because yours is really good. Everything I've ever ordered, because I've always been a bit reluctant to order from online if I haven't seen it first, but everything I've had from you guys has always turned up as been amazing quality.
If ever anybody watching wants to buy from us and you're in doubt, you can either drop us a message, get on live chat, drop us an email, give us a call, and just ask one of the guys in customer support to either take a close-up picture of something, or if you want to make sure the colour is exactly what you need, or you want us to do a little video, we can do that and send it to you. So
Right, so we're going to start off with our lighter one. So we're going to go one in the centre. So it's a recipe, but it's 3 flower placements, but it's going to be the same 3. So one in the centre.
Okay.
One completely over the top like that. So we're coming in at an angle like that.
Yeah.
But you're going to do it flat down on the bench. I'm just holding it up to kind of show. And then one goes underneath everything. So this one here will go under those 3 stems.
All right.
Like that. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go centre, over, under. And what we're going to do is we're going to group things together and bring them down. So we've got these 2 on this side to give it a bit more impact.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one's gone under. So this one comes in the centre, but although it's going in the centre, if you can see that, rather than running straight through the middle, it's running into that spiral.
Okay.
So it's in the middle, but rather than coming flat on there, it's going into the spiral we've already got. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Okay. So
I'm just going to nod and smile.
Centre, and this one's going to come over. So I'm starting to come down into that triangle shape.
Yep.
And then my next one is going to come, what do I want, Greg?
I don't know. There's a thistle thing here.
That's short, so that will go at the bottom.
Okay,
I'm going to bring one of these in.
Okay.
So that's going to go under. Okay? So if you look at the stems are already starting to spiral.
Yes. Okay.
Okay? So what that spiral will do is that will give us that domed profile.
Okay.
So we're just going to move those down, and then you can like jig them around.
That looks really nice as it is already.
Well, so if it was small, you could keep it that size. We're going to go for quite a big one because you've got quite a big space. But yeah, you can keep it like that. But then I'm going to bring my other one. If I could have the other one of those, please.
Oh, that one.
That one. So I'm going to group them together because that gives that more impact. So that one went under. So this one's going centre. If it's probably now there's more in, it's easier to see. So centre, but it's following that spiral.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Maybe we'll do a
So when you're talking about spiral, you're talking about this bit. Okay.
Yeah, okay. And the good thing is if you spiral the stems from the bottom, you can, as long as the stems are spiraled, you can move the top around.
Yeah.
But if stems are straight, you can't.
I see.
Okay, so then we're just going to bend those. We want it to be really 3D. We don't want it to be flat. So just bend them up. So we've got our taller, lighter flowers at the top. So now we've got kind of like all of this texture. So I think...
Oh, look at these little glittery silver things.
I know, they're nice, aren't they? So now I'm going to go under. So I'm starting to come out a bit more now, make that triangle shape.
Yeah.
So I've gone under, and then I'm coming back to centre.
So that's a really good example of what needs to be pulled out, that
yeah,
one.
Yeah, so that's really flat. And then you can kind of interweave the things that you've already got in there coming through.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be, it's really getting into your head, it doesn't have to be flat. Just because they're on a flat stem, you can bend them, move them. So you're starting to travel down. So that one went in the centre. So now we'll use these.
Use the little sparkly ones because they're really good.
And they're going to come over. And what you can do is you can put more than one flower in at a time. So they're both going to come over as a group, as long as I remember where I went. And then when I change, I go under. Okay. And then I might put...
I've got some thistles, I've got some mistletoe.
I'm just deciding if I want to put the hydrangeas in, but I don't think I do, actually. I'm going to put the...
Not at all? Okay, I'll leave those out.
No, I'm going to just go for all the sparkle. I'm going to use these, and then I think we definitely should have some mistletoe because we're going to hang it. So.
Okay.
Right, so then these 2 are going to go under. So they're both going in that under position, and I can move them around.
Yep.
Open them out, so they're a lot bushier. And then back to centre.
Oh.
Put in a little bit of mistletoe.
That looks so full.
Yeah, because we've spiralled it.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
if we just, and then we can really open those out. So if we'd have just put them in flat, the whole thing would have just looked a bit flat and a bit murk. But because we've spiralled the stems.
They fell over.
Sorry. So then the next thing we do is we're going to tie it. So we've done hand ties before. So we've got our tie, and then you've got your finger, hold your finger out like that. It goes in between your second and third finger. You clamp it down with your second finger, and that's gone behind. And you tie it over the top of your hand, so you go round, always over the top. Pull it really tightly because you've spiraled the stems. Gone round again. So if you were doing this in fresh flower, it'd be exactly the same thing. Exactly the same process. Centre, over, under.
So when you're using fresh flowers, do you have to pull less because you could cut through them?
No, because you've spiraled the stems, when you pull it, they just knit together. The thing that you have to do when you're using fresh flowers is any foliage or greenery. So I'm just going to tie that now nice and tightly. Any fresh flower or greenery that's below the binding point, which is here where we've tied it, it's got to come off. Okay. Because obviously in a faux flower, it's off anyway. So that's nice and tight now. And if you don't feel that's tight enough, you can go around a couple of times because we're going to hang it upside down. So you just want to make sure it's nice and secure. You'd then snip, you've got some great wire cutters. I'm not going to snip these ones. They're really good. Yeah.
Springy ones.
So then you just snip them. And the general rule of thumb is the stems should be a third of the overall design. We've done that before, but I'm just going to, just for this, I'm just going to bend that one back like that. Then we're going to make a nice bow to go on there. Okay. So I really like this green velvety one. You've got a lovely red one. Do you want red or do you want green, Greg?
Let's go green.
So bows are massively on trend this year.
Yeah.
I've seen some people that have you seen the trend where they've been using like bed sheets and making a giant bow and having it on the Christmas tree? No. So they've been getting two
bed sheet?
Yeah, so it's like a duvet set. So it's like 2 pillowcases and a bed sheet, and then they're putting 2 pillows in the pillowcases, obviously, and then they're making the bow out of the bed sheet, and then all they have on the top of the tree is a giant bow that comes all the way down.
Wow.
So bows are huge this year.
Okay, literally.
Yeah. So we're going to make a loop. This is that lovely wired ribbon, which makes a lovely bow. So you make a loop, a second loop. Bows are controversial. Everybody does their bows differently. This is just how I do it. And then bottom one up to the centre. I think we've got a whole video on bows.
Yeah.
And then over the top, like that. And then I'm just going to scrunch that through the middle.
So this is good because it's got the wire in it. And
so it stays in place. And we're just going to snip that. And we're going to tie. And you can like have a 4 bow, like, 2 bows tied on top of each other. You can have a long dangly trail.
Have we got bigger ribbon than this? Thicker ribbon?
I think that might be the widest one. So if you wanted it wider, I'd make 2 of these. So that, And the good thing with this one is you can really manipulate it and bend it. So if you want to like roll it in like that, you can.
It's very classy looking, isn't it, that ribbon?
Yeah, greens. So I've already started, so my Wreath order book is open, and last year everybody wanted red, everyone was going for red and gold. This year, everybody's going for the, when I'm saying what colour bow do you want, everyone's going green.
Oh, okay.
So this lovely...
So big bows and green.
Big bows and green. Green or like natural linen they're going for. Right, so I'm just going to cut a V in the bottom of there, but again, that's a personal taste thing. You can have more than one colour. And then you tie it that way. Mm-hmm. So rather than coming over the stems, because you're going to hang it upside down, remember? So the temptation is to do it that way, but you want to do it this way. You just...
So effectively that's the top then.
So that's the top. So just tie that on.
What are we going to do with our reindeer? Because they're going to be upside down. You
could probably turn those round, yeah. That is a good point, Greg.
Yeah.
But clearly I didn't...
I do watch sometimes.
I didn't think about. That's because you've got a real eye for a detail, haven't you? Like you've got a real... You do have like a real attention to detail, I think. I think it shows. It shows in your warehouse. It shows in everything.
Don't blame me for that. That's Andy. Andy, our warehouse manager. He's great. In fact, everybody in the warehouse is great. Hello, everybody in the warehouse.
Right, okay. So I've turned them up the right way, I think.
Yeah.
And then it hangs, hopefully. It's always good to check it in a mirror as well. So, I mean, I could...
so I hold it and then you can...
Yeah, well, I'm going to want to fiddle with the bow because that's... Okay. I'm just going to...
I'm just offering to help.
Sorry, Greg.
Okay, that feels really solid, really nicely put together.
And then you once it's up, it's like that. So you can either hang that on the door, as it is, or if you had You've got, I think we've popped it on the Christmas tree, but you've got some lovely garlands that match this.
Yeah.
So you could have like a swag of garland coming down the stairs. You could chop that right off if you wanted to.
Yeah, and just have the bow as the top bit.
And just have the bow as the top bit. But yeah, it's an alternative to either a door wreath or sometimes, you know, if you've got somewhere on the wall where you want to put something, or people will hang them from, like, if they've got lights on the wall or something like that, hang it from underneath. That's quite a big bougie one. It doesn't have to be that.
I might hang this on my front door and everybody's going to be really impressed.
What else is really nice as well is this year's a trend is like the cowbells.
Yeah.
Or like the big bells. So you can have those like trailing down.
Nice.
Like further.
It's actually quite heavy. I'm struggling to hold it up there now. Well, Emma, thank you so much for that. So that is called a sheaf.
Tied sheaf.
A what? Tied sheaf?
Tied sheaf.
Tied sheaf.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Now, and I know we did it with the Christmas tree show, and I asked you to ask everybody a question so people could type an answer.
Yeah.
So, have you got a question?
Yeah, traditional door garland, round one, or tied sheath.
Oh,
what do you
that's
think?
so easy. Okay, let's have a vote. Call it a poll. Please leave your answers down below on Facebook and on YouTube. Emma, thank you once again. And thank you, everybody, for watching. If you do like this content, follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, hit subscribe, or even on TikTok. We're on all of them. Just give us a follow. And if you subscribe, click the little bell icon. You'll be notified every time we upload a new show here on YouTube. Right, from myself and Emma, have a wonderful week. See you next time. Bye.